Hi there folks, and welcome to the What Solutions for this week's The Daily Rigour, issue number 330. So it's 2024 already, and we apologise for not producing too many of these in the latter part of 2023, but new year, New Year's resolutions and all that, we'll endeavour to make as many of these as we can in the year 2024. Hopefully all 52 for the 52 weeks in a year. Anyway, on to story number one, all the way from the USA. So we've got two newborn twins not sharing the same birthday or even birth year. So of course, with an anomaly like that, the Daily Rigour has to investigate a wee bit more. And that's because little Ezra was born at 11:48 p.m. on the 31st of December, and his brother Ezekiel was delivered 40 minutes later. So at what time was Ezekiel born at? Well, it's basically just going to be 40 minutes on from 11:48 p.m. So obviously, because we're adding more than 12 minutes, it's going to take us to 12 something over to the next hour. And if we go round the clock 40 minutes, that'll take us to 12:28. But of course, that's then going to be 12:28 a.m. So what is Ezekiel's date of birth? Well, of course, because we've gone on to the next hour, which is 12, we've gone on to the next day, which will be 01. We've then gone on to the next month, so December will become January. And we've even gone on to the next year, which will be 2024. So congratulations to the parents. So on to our next story from the world of business, a rather dull story. Former Barclays CEO Anthony Jenkins securing $50 million in a fresh injection of capital from investors, blah, blah, blah. The reason why this is a story in the Daily Rigour is because at Rigour Maths, we can't overlook that the company's called 10x, given how much we love algebra. So we've got 4 questions below, which of these give an answer of 10x once we simplify these algebraic expressions. So our first one, x plus 9x, well that's 1x plus 9x, which gives us an answer of 10x. So number 2, we've got 5 lots of 2x, so 5 times 2 is 10, so that's going to work out as 10x as well. 14x take away 5x is 9x. And then for number 4, a trickier one, we're dividing. So we do 30 divided by 3, which is 10, and x squared divided by x, which is x. So that comes out as 10x as well. So basically the answers to 1, 2 and 4 are equal to 10x. So on to our technology story. So EAFC24, the game that my 7-year-old son talks about non-stop, was the best-selling game in 2023. And that's despite changing from its traditional name of FIFA, where the makers of the game were worried whether sales would suffer. But it actually only sold 140,000 copies less than FIFA 23 from the previous year. So how many copies of FIFA 23 were sold last year? So 2.25 million is 2,250,000. 140,000 less copies of UFC 23, so that means we need to add that onto this total. So that's going to come to 2,390,000 or 2.39 million. Okay, so can you name the other 4 best-selling games from the year 2023? So for question number 2, we've got the square root of 64, which is 8, which is the letter H. So the second best-selling game of 2023 was Hogwarts Legacy. So for number 3, that's going to come to the number 3, which is the letter C, and that's going to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and you had to have that all there for you to get the right answer. So 16 take away 5 times 2 is, well, we got to multiply before we subtract. So 16 take away 10, which is 6, which gives us F. Now, of course, that's going to be FIFA 23 because it still sold loads, and it did come out in the December of the previous year. And then number 5, minus 2 take away negative 9 means we start at negative 2 and go up 9, which takes us to 7. So that'll be G, and we were looking for Grand Theft Auto 5 there. So well done if you get any of them right. So on to our final story from the environment world. So we've got that the average litre of bottled water contains nearly 250,000 invisible pieces of nanoplastics. Crazy. So these pieces are less than a micron in size. Microns are also called micrometers because they are a millionth of a metre in length. So we're talking about very tiny, small sizes here. So what is the length of a micron in centimetres? Well, basically it's a millionth of a metre, so a millionth is 0.5 zeros and a 1. And there's 100 centimetres in every metre, so we need to multiply that by 100 to change metres into centimetres, because there'll obviously be more centimetres. So we basically just move the 1 up to place values, so that comes to 0.0001 centimetres. Now, to change metres into millimetres, we could multiply by 1,000 because there's 10 millimetres in every centimetre and 100 centimetres in every metre. Or we could just take the centimetres and then multiply by 10 because there's 10 millimetres for every centimetre. So moving that one up one place value would give us 0.001 millimetre. And we think how small a millimetre is, you know, a thousandth of it. We're talking about very tiny lengths indeed. But still, I wouldn't want to be drinking them and ingesting them into my body. So the recommendation there would be to use reusable water bottles instead of these disposable plastic ones. Anyway, folks, there we have it, our What Solutions for this week. We hope you enjoyed solving these problems. Stay tuned for next week's edition. Yes, there will be a next week's edition when we're going to be looking at more stories from the news of the week and the numbers behind them. But in the meantime, thanks for watching and bye for now.